So here at Torrey, I just stepped in a GoPro roll. Anyway, here at Torrey, as I was saying, actually going to meet a subscriber here, believe it or not. Yes, I do have a subscriber here and there. And basically he wants to talk about paramotoring, paragliding. See what this old guy has to say, give him my experiences. Of course, Bessie's talked to a lot of people. So anyway, should be fun, nice. He seemed very enthusiastic. And yes, I do enjoy talking about both paramotoring and paragliding. So you'll probably have to shut me up in order to leave. I'll be chasing him, trying to give him more information. Anyway, let's hope I have something positive to offer. This is David. He's learned, we're trying to get as much information as he can on paramotoring, paragliding. It's been fun. He's been talking to also Chris Dewey here, who's a trainer, JC parent, so he'll get him in the air soon. Swedish little dog, little Skippy. Looks like a pup, 14 years young. Hi Skippy, how are you? That's a Barrio.
That's the Barrio.
What's going on? Hopefully I don't embarrass myself. Okay. Are you going to be here for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to watch.
Okay, all right.
So after talking with David for quite a long time, I think for about 2 hours, going over a lot of different aspects of paramotoring, paragliding, the wind finally came up. The fact that it didn't come up as forecast did give us an opportunity to talk quite a bit. So I did eventually launch. It turned out to be a really nice day. As you'll see later on, it really got windy. But for now, the launch was great. And this video is going to be a lot of miscellaneous ramblings about some thoughts that came up after talking with David. A lot to do with instruction, specifically to the San Diego area, which has its positives and challenges. So this may be a little stream of conscious. I'll try not to get all over the place with what I want to talk about. I did write down some notes, so hopefully it's not too scattered. So David was absolutely new to the sport of paragliding or paramotoring, and all his knowledge has really been coming from YouTube. Obviously, we were able to talk, which was great. He just happened to be a local. And one of the things I started to realize is so much information out there. It's kind of a good news, bad news things. There's obviously some real big players in YouTube, some real positive stuff. Then there's some real wacky things. There's people trying to learn on their own, people doing failed flights, failed compilations are a real big thing. Hey, here's how you can watch other people crash and do silly things. So you really realize right away you're just inundated with so much information out there. Some of it good, some of it really bad. There's super this, super that. There's equipment that's the best, and if you don't fly it, then you're going to crash and kill yourself. So it's really all over the place, and I could see that from speaking with him. There's so much information out there. I guess the point I really try to get across to David was, one, just get really good instruction. You basically don't know what you don't know, and you're up in the air. Aviation is very non-forgiving, especially with this sport. One, you try to fly in very mild conditions as far as paramotoring, but if you get caught out in something you can't control, things can get bad really quick. So get good local instruction. I try to point them to some people that I knew personally that I thought could do a good job. The problem in San Diego is there's no really one spot where you can go and really train. It's too crowded. There's no nice small airport that you can fly from. So basically, any place you go, you're going to bug the neighbors. You're going to have a lot of complaints. So any spot we used to use pretty much is gone. So you have to go away from the area. Salton Sea is a real popular spot, but during the summer it's way too hot. People go down to Mexico. There are some other areas that perhaps instructors have been using, but again, we're really limited in San Diego. Though the good thing is the weather's always nice, or pretty much you can count on it to be nice all year round at some time. So your training doesn't get curtailed by a lot of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of cold weather. It also always seems that the new pilots right away want to focus on what sort of equipment should I get, what wing should I get. It's really kind of getting ahead of oneself. You want to get some good training, find out what kind of flying you think you might be doing. Maybe you could fly a couple of different types of equipment. Rely on your instructor to really point out what might be best for you, what kind of wing you should start with. And then you can think about that purchase. But don't get ahead of yourself and start thinking right away, I want to buy this particular paramotor because, gosh, it really looks neat on YouTube. My aviation experience started with ultralights back in the mid-'80s. Pretty loosey-goosey in the sense that, boy, you had complete freedom to fly and complete freedom to really screw up as long as you don't hurt anybody else. Well, that lasted, I guess, the golden age for about 1 or 2 years. A couple of bad instances and then some really bad press from one of the networks, and that pretty much just killed ultralight as far as the next best thing in aviation. It's still around, don't get me wrong, but it never enjoyed that golden time that it had right in the beginning. So I flew ultralights for a couple of years. We lost the site that we were flying out of Lake Elsinore. Basically, the community said, nope, not going to let you do this anymore. Went out to Paris Valley Airport out there that still does some parachuting. I think they still fly ultralights out of there, but certainly not as busy as it once was. After a time, I got into general aviation back in the 90s. Flew for some time. Actually got my CFI, taught for a little bit, really enjoyed it. But in the span of about 10 years, general aviation just got really expensive. And I started a business, so pretty much let flying go for a little bit. So about 4 years ago, I was exactly at the spot David was at. I started looking at paragliding, paramotoring, primarily paramotoring to begin with, because I really wanted to get back in the air just like I had been with general aviation. I had paraglided about 10 years earlier, but again, my business was just not allowing me to fly very much. So there I was. How do I do paramotoring? How do I train? What sort of equipment should I get? This was before YouTube really took off. So basically I relied on local instruction, local information through Phil Russman, who was my paragliding and paramotoring trainer. Don't think he does it quite as much, but he's still very active in the industry. He can tell you all about anything you ever wanted to know about either sport. So that's where we kind of directed David, not specifically to any one person. You really want to talk to your instructor, see if it's the right mix. No one instructor is best for everyone, just like no one paramotor is going to be best for everyone. There's plenty of great wings, a lot of equipment out there. Get good instruction, take it easy, and I would say learn to kite. Really love kiting. The better you are at kiting, the better pilot you'll be all around. Okay, so I've been talking for a long time here, and hopefully I haven't bored you to tears. One last thing I would leave you with, and this actually made a great impression on me. as a professional, after schooling, I got out thinking, yeah, I can run a business. Nothing could be further from the truth. There was a book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber that really changed my attitude towards it. Basically saying just because you're technically good at something doesn't mean you can be good at that business. In this case, because you're a great pilot doesn't mean you're going to be a great instructor. Great instructors are rare. To really instruct well is very difficult, and I don't think enough people realize that. You really have a lot to impart, and how do you do it efficiently, safely, and really motivating the student in a positive manner. I've seen a lot of instructors, some are very good, and some I wouldn't recommend at all. And unfortunately, they're out there. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean you can instruct. So please talk to your instructor, get an idea of whether it's going to work for you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful. And thank you, David, for a great conversation. And I hope to be flying together soon. So this is the high wind landing part that I talked about earlier. There's Chris running over to make sure I'm not dragged into the next county. Definitely was going a little backwards here and realized, oh boy, this could be interesting. Really wasn't too bad. I was able to kind of slip it to the right. And once I turned around, and it was very easy to get the wing down, quite a bit more controllable than I thought. But I just ended up too far back coming in. Didn't realize that the winds were gusting 20 to 25. So quite a bit stronger than I thought. I definitely should have been more attentive to what the winds were doing. I knew it was strong, but not this strong. Should have come in a lot lower, closer to the ridge. And if all else failed, just land on the beach, which is what I probably would have done. It was getting kind of crowded in the landing area, a lot of tandems. But a great day, great conversation with David. And again, thanks a lot for watching.